Authors of the measure creating the Maharlika Wealth Fund are proposing further amendments to appease concerns on transparency. Households and commercial areas being served by Meralco should expect higher electricity bills this month. However, customers are being warned of more expensive power spilling over to next year as the power distributor looks for other potential suppliers. Here's some good news though. A big-time rollback in pump prices is expected next week. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Proponents of the Maharlika Wealth Fund are eyeing more changes to the controversial bill. Marian Enriquez with the report.
Marikina Representative Stella Quimbo proposed more amendments to the Maharlika Wealth Fund bill. She said the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas shall eventually remit 100% of its dividends to the MWF.
Ang suggestion is until ma-fund yung Maharlika Wealth Fund, yun muna ang puntahan ng mga dividends ng BSP. Pagka napondohan na yun, magkaroon naman ng sharing agreement para ma-address yung capitalization needs ng BSP, so 50-50. And then once fully capitalized ng BSP, yung declared dividends of BSP may be earmarked again to the Maharlika Wealth Fund.
Recall that the proponents earlier announced that pension funds won't be used for the MWF, at least for now. This means the initial fund for the MWF will now be sourced from government financial institutions. The BSP meanwhile raised concerns about the proposed exemptions of Land Bank and Development Bank of the Philippines from regulatory restrictions.
The proposed exemption of DBP and LBP from applicable regulations may lead to undercalculation of their overall risk profile and may adversely affect the safety and soundness of their operations.
PAGCOR and other government-owned gaming corporations shall also contribute 10% of their gross revenue streams.
May we also request that the funding be limited for a period of 2 years only to enable PAGCOR to support the funding requirements of the universal health care.
The House Appropriations Committee approved Quimbo's proposed amendments for MWF fund sources. Quimbo also proposed that instead of the sitting president, the finance secretary shall serve as chairman of the board. Quimbo also wants 7 members to represent the fund contributors. Their seats will depend on the size of their investment. Quimbo also proposed to have 4 independent directors from the private sector in MWF board. Lawmakers will discuss the proposed changes to the MWF board composition during their next hearing. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
The Agriculture Department expects lower onion prices later this month. Shaila Francisco with the report.
Mr. President, nananawagan po, kailan kami giginhawa?
Nakakabili pa ba kayo ng sibuyas o...
No other choice. Kahit kailangan sa pagluluto. Nakakaiyak.
Prices of onions remain high in Kamuning Market and other markets in Metro Manila. Red onions are priced between 240 to 300 pesos per kilo. Because of this, some retailers are cutting down on volume due to high input costs.
Kasi baka biglang magbaba, dilugi ako. Paano mamahal ang bili mo tapos biglang bumaba? Paano yun?
The Agriculture Department said onion prices may start to go down later this month due to early harvests. For now, the country still has an inventory of 10,000 metric tons of red onions.
Sabi naman ng ating Bureau of Plant Industry, makakasurvive tayo at matatawid natin yan with the supply ngayon na inventaryo na nakikita natin. If you're looking at mga 3,000 metric tons siguro per week, habol pa tayo. Pero pag yan ay tumaas, mukhang tingnan natin ulit.
But according to the Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura, reduced harvests are expected this month due to the impact of recent typhoons. The group recommends the importation of onions for the holiday season.
dapat as soon as possible, mag-issue na ng SPSIC. Within 10 days to 15 days naman makapasok ito. We hope na kung may pasok yan, mabenta ng 80 pesos yung puting sibuyas. Yun, makakatulong yun dun sa pula siguro at least bababa.
The DA said they are still studying the inventory to avoid an influx of imported onions.
Meron kang desisyon na mag-import, pero baka dito lang yung iba na sibuyas na yan sa ating paligid. That's why binabantayan na natin yung mga perto. Baka sa paligid, once you issue yung import permit, baka maglabasan yan. Sa timing at saka yung atin pong sistema.
For now, the department is appealing to local onion producers and traders to release their stocks to help lower market prices. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
One News now. We'll be back with more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Supporters of suspended Corrections Chief Gerald Bantag gathered again in Baguio City. Bantag attended the event on horseback with the group marching from Casa Vallejo to Ibaloy Park. The embattled general thanked his supporters and said that he will now focus on the complaints lodged against him. Bantag's camp has yet to formally submit his counter-affidavit. Instead, they are petitioning for state prosecutors to inhibit from the Percy Lapid slay case. They also want the case transferred to the jurisdiction of the Office of the Ombudsman. Meralco customers can expect higher power bills this month. Gerard de la Peña with the report.
As if the spike in commodity prices isn't enough, it looks like consumers are in for further belt tightening. Meralco said customers will see an increase of nearly 33 centavos per kilowatt hour in their December power bills. For households consuming 200 kilowatt hours, this means additional 66 pesos in your total electricity bill. Meralco explained that it has completed its mandated refunds to customers, which offset the drop in generation charges.
Itong DRTU is not actually technically created an upward adjustment dahil natapos na yung DRTU 3, no? Pero hindi siya matuturing na increase dahil sa presyo ng kuryente. Nagkataon lang talaga na natapos na, kaya tumaas yung overall rates.
However, this could just be a preview of what could be an even bigger rate hike come January. The Energy Regulatory Commission said customers consuming 200 kilowatt hours a month could see their bills go up by as much as 80 pesos. This comes on the back of the suspension of the power supply deal between Meralco and San Miguel South Premier Power Corporation. Meralco said that while rates could go up in January, it may not be that much.
Since the suspension happened in the middle of the month, so hindi naman full supply months agad yung affected. So it won't be that much. We don't expect it to be that much.
The ERC said that the Office of the Solicitor General has already asked the Court of Appeals to lift the temporary restraining order on the power supply agreement between Meralco and SPPC. In the meantime, Meralco is negotiating with two other power suppliers to fill its 670 megawatt supply deficiency. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña. We are One News.
And another oil price rollback is expected next week, marking the fourth straight week of price cuts. According to initial forecasts, diesel prices could go down by 3 pesos to 3 pesos and 30 centavos a liter. Meanwhile, gasoline will likely be cheaper by up to 1 peso and 70 centavos per liter. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.